I wanted to do something a little bit different today. I've actually got a video of a trading mindfulness expert, trading meditation expert, Ivan, and I'm going to break down his YouTube video on what mindfulness is, and he does a great mindfulness guide for traders, and then he runs into the importance of meditation and mindfulness as a trader. Now, Ivan has many years of expertise on this particular topic, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to do a review on it. I wanted to listen and hear and share with you guys what Ivan had to say, but then also, as we go through it, give my interpretation and show you from my experience and my work as a performance coach with traders, how what Ivan's saying directly ties into what I've been saying in the last couple hundred videos on this YouTube channel. Because to be fair, the principles we talk about are very, very similar, but it seems to me that the way we get to those principles is slightly different. So I think you guys are going to get a lot of value from going through this, and I've also got links to the complete video below if you want to go through Ivan's mindfulness practice and the meditation practice and check out the rest of his videos on his channel. You can. But for those of you who don't know who I am, a really quick introduction. My name is Pat Baylooney, and I'm the founder of Master Your Trading Mindset, which is an education and performance coaching business. And we work with traders all around the world. I work with prop firms and education companies and their traders. And we help retail traders, institutional traders overcome their psychological challenges and accomplish their funding goals. So what I'm going to be doing today is, while we run through Ivan's videos, I'm going to be sharing my perspective on it and explaining Ivan's principles from my perspective and showing how they tie together. So if you're new to my channel, it could be a good opportunity for you to hear the same principles in a slightly different way and apply it in a slightly different perspective. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, what I've done is, Ivan at the start of this video, the first 12 minutes or so, did a guided meditation. So you can go and check that out on your own time. I'd recommend it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the explanation that he gives afterwards, and why meditation is so important and the benefits of it, and how tying this in can make you a more profitable and more successful trader. So let's get into it.
The simplicity of the instructions with respect to the practice of mindfulness. I mean, it's really that simple. It's really that simple. That's really all you need to know. Not quite, but pretty much. You're sitting or standing or in any posture you want, eyes closed, eyes opened, and you're simply being acutely aware of what's arising for you in the moment, and you're doing it non-judgmentally.
I talk a lot about being aware and self-awareness on my channel, and Ivan's highlighting this and how meditation helps you become aware of what's happening and not judging what's happening, but just being present and learning to be present with what the market's communicating. Because ultimately, if you're not aware and you're not present and you're judging whatever is happening in front of you, you're not able to make the most process-based decisions. You're not able to take on the information that's coming to you and make decisions according to your plan. Because the moment you judge what's coming to you, the market's communicating, you then have 170 biases that the brain has, in particular confirmation bias, to only let in information that supports what you're taking in, the judgment you have, and then it blocks out a lot of other information. So being able to use these mindfulness practices and these meditation practices and training yourself to be aware of what the market's communicating allows you to listen to what the market's communicating and make the most profitable decision according to your plan.
And then you're seeing what you've learned from being aware. And the reason why I wanted you to do this practice with me today is because I wanted you to get a glimpse of what mindfulness is experientially. Because you'll often hear platitudes like, mindfulness is living in the present moment. And this doesn't fully describe what mindfulness is, in my opinion. Animals, for instance, they live, or they seem to live in the present moment, right? I mean, they don't seem to have complex experiences like we do, like we human beings do. And it doesn't seem like they can think about the past or conceptualize the future to the extent that we're able to, right? But that's why you could say that they sort of live mostly in the present moment. But at the same time, they don't look mindful at all, do they? So mindfulness has to mean something else. It has to mean something deeper than just quote unquote living in the present moment. A better definition of mindfulness could be that it's a strategy of attention. Mindfulness is a strategy of attention. You're paying attention to your experiences, whatever that experience is, and you're doing that in a specific way, which is to say non-judgmentally and on purpose and in the present moment. Non-judgmentally, on purpose, and in the present moment. Meaning you're feeling whatever it is that you're feeling. You're experiencing whatever it is that you're experiencing in the present moment. And you're being aware of it with exquisite detail. And you're doing it. You're observing it with complete acceptance without generating an ounce of craving for what's pleasant and aversion for what's unpleasant.
Okay, so this is really important and ties into a lot of what I talk about. I believe it's the addiction to winning and the addiction to the pleasure that traders perceive they're going to get from winning that ultimately disrupts their edge. And what Yvonne's talking about here is ability to almost transcend those and stand above those particular judgments and learn to observe without judging. I think that's so important. I think we're almost conditioned to have judgments of this is good, this is bad. I want to seek after this, I want to avoid that. But it's ultimately, if you're seeking after winning and you want the pleasure of winning, you're trying to avoid the pain of losing, you're going to disrupt the very edge. Because as traders, our job is to go to the market and execute based on processes. It's to execute based on a trading plan, a previously created edge that we've created, and we've created a plan from. But if we have fear and greed dynamics of, I'm fearful of this because of this pain I've experienced in the past, we're going to try and avoid the pain of the past, which may very well be undermining our edge. Or if we have extreme associations with pleasure of the past, and we're going into the market trying to seek after that pleasure, we may be undermining our very edge or be blinded to our very edge. So being able to train ourselves to observe non-judgmentally allows us to be present and make the most process-based decisions according to our edge. That's ultimately what leads us to consistent profitability, consistently executing the edge. It's the seeking after pleasure, the avoidance of pain that ultimately I've seen working with a lot of traders now, and experienced and also non-experienced traders, that undermines their ability to gain consistent profits in the long run. We need to learn to transcend our judgments on the outcome, and that allows us to stick to our processes.
For what's uncomfortable. That's a better way, in my opinion, of describing what mindfulness is, instead of defining it as just living in the present moment, Now, some of the main characteristics of mindfulness meditation are composure, clear seeing, and insight.
Okay, composure, clear seeing, and insight. Composure, clear seeing, and insight. So key. We need to have composure as traders. We need to know what our plan is. We need to know that we're going to adhere to that particular thing and have a backbone and have composure. We need to have clear seeing of what the market's communicating to us, because if we're not able to respect what the market's doing, and we're going to get humbled by the market. So those are very important components to be able to make profitable process-based decisions as a trader.
Composure, clear seeing, and insight. Those are the elements in the mind that you're reinforcing with a consistent mindfulness practice. And you're reinforcing these qualities because, essentially we are what we repeatedly do. We are what we repeatedly do. Aristotle famously said that. In other words, whatever is frequently brought to mind, whatever is frequently rehearsed, becomes the inclination of the mind. We are reinforcing, one way or another, the patterns and inclinations of our lives. That's what we are, what we repeatedly do means. So for instance, every time you feel annoyed and frustrated with losses, every time you jump the gun on your trading plan and mindlessly FOMO into suboptimal trade ideas, the neural networks and the areas of the brain responsible for those experiences are reinforced. And the structures that produce the experience of being calm and cool-headed and disciplined, they slowly fall by the wayside. Conversely, every time you practice staying calm in the midst of pressure, every time you practice patience and every time you befriend your difficult emotions, those are the patterns in your mind that you are reinforcing. Whatever is frequently practiced becomes the inclination of the mind.
Yep, and from a neuroplastic standpoint, you've got Hebbian law, neurons that fire together, wire together. and you've got incredible neuroplasticity in the brain. So whatever you repeatedly do is going to fire together in the brain, and you're going to create new associations.
Inclination of the mind. And so mindfulness is a great way to do that on purpose, to reinforce those positive patterns on purpose. And folks already understood this 2,000-3,000 years ago. In fact, in some Eastern cultures, people were having very deep intuitions about the inner workings of their mind, and more broadly, about the structure of reality and the organization of the world and all of that. Things that were only recently confirmed by science. And these people were able to access such insights through reflective practices like meditation. And perhaps more importantly, those meditation practices help those people better the quality of their lives in so many ways. And so, once again, now science is starting to explain what these folks were articulating in a very simple language back then. I'm talking about 2,000-3,000 years ago. Science is now proving the reality of neuroplasticity, this idea that we are what we repeatedly do. Science is now confirming the benefits of mindfulness meditation. In fact,
I completely agree with him. I think the ancients, the great philosophers, the great minds, great thinkers, oftentimes knew a little bit more than what we know nowadays, or we put so much information out that isn't so nowadays that we start to dampen the brilliance and the intelligence of some of these individuals, some of these great minds. That's why I think a lot of the great traders, and I haven't talked much about this, but I think that a lot of the great traders that I've seen are also great philosophers. And they study and they read and they study philosophers, and they understand these principles and they understand these philosophies, because a lot of them tie into dealing with the emotional components of trading and dealing with the vicissitudes of trading. So I completely agree with what Yvonne's saying.
Scientific research that suggests that it has lasting effects, positive effects on the brain. It helps with decision making and stress and anxiety reduction, and emotional maturity, independent thinking. Essentially all the qualities that you need to thrive in the market as a trader.
And why, from my perspective, the reason why meditation allows traders to make better decisions, have clear thinking, have more composure, gain insights from the market, lower emotional volatilities, is because it trains you to be present. And when you're present, you're listening to what the market's communicating, you're communicating your trading plan in terms of that. When you're present, you're not creating unrealistic expectations that you're projecting onto the market. And as a result, you're not going to have your fantasies crushed, you're not going to be hugely emotional. So meditation, being present with what the market's communicating, is a huge cornerstone of being a successful trader.
So the benefits they're not anecdotal anymore. Okay, they're empirical. They're statistical. I mean, that's why meditation is so popular with the finance crowds these days. For instance, mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness meditation classes at Goldman Sachs have long wait lists, hundreds of names long, according to an article I read on Bloomberg. And it's understandable. No one wants to lose on a possible edge in this very competitive field that is trading and investing. In fact, many of the world's most renowned traders and investors out there, they use some form of meditation to help them develop and maintain a trading or investing edge, is psychological edge in the market. Helps them develop and maintain a psychological edge in the market. And so they begin their day sitting on a meditation cushion. For instance, Ray Dalio meditates, Paul Tudor Jones meditates, Daniel Loeb meditates. And of course, these market legends practice different styles of meditation. But all of these practices have one common element. It's that element of mindfulness. And so it could be mindfulness of breath, of sounds, of physical sensations, of thoughts, and so on. And
key point there. I'm also a big believer that it doesn't necessarily matter specifically what meditation you go for, but it's all about being mindful. It's all about being present. You ultimately want to find a meditation practice that resonates most with you and that works with you, because ultimately you're only going to get benefit if you stick with it, and you're most likely going to only stick with it if you're doing a practice that resonates with you and it's not too difficult to follow through with. So A lot of the great minds in the finance industry, a lot of the great athletes and performers, and in every industry choose meditation, mindfulness, because it has so many profound benefits, like Ivan's talking about now.
Look, meditation has been a game changer for me as well, both in my trading and in my personal life, outside of trading. In my personal life, it's helped me manage a stutter, a speech impediment that I have, that I've always had. And if you heard me talk a couple of years ago, you would see that I wouldn't be able to form a coherent sentence without repeatedly stumbling on my words. It's been a big challenge in my life, in my personal life, because the way my speech impediment works is that, the more I feel anxious and emotional about it, the more I'm going to stutter. And the more I stutter, the more I feel anxious and emotional. So it's a vicious cycle, unending cycle, self-reinforcing cycle. And so meditation has given me the tools to manage my emotions. And so nowadays I'm so good at dealing with my emotions that you can barely hear my stutter. Yes, I'm going to stumble here and there on my words, but it's not all the time. It's not on each and every word or sentence. So that's my personal life. And on the trading front, it's been a game changer. It's helped me become a more objective and rational actor in the market because I'm so aware of my emotions and I've developed such maturity in how I deal with my discomforts. Now, here's an important thing I need to make clear. I'm not saying that you can meditate your way to financial success. That's not what I'm saying. Okay, I'm not saying that mindfulness replaces proper market understanding or probabilistic thinking or winning trading strategy. I'm not saying that it replaces a statistical edge in the market. Okay, that's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that a consistent practice will help you understand your mind better, will help you deal with your emotions better. It'll help you manage them better. Okay, it'll give you the space to process sorrow and grief from losses. It'll give you the space to process exuberance as well. It'll help calm you down when you feel ecstatic after a winning trade, let's say.
Yep, I completely agree with what he's saying here as well. It's, you're not going to be able to learn the mental principles, meditation, or the principles I teach, the mindset balancing exercises, and be consistently profitable. But these are additional tools that once you have a clear edge, once you have a clear trading plan, these are tools that allow you to adhere to that trading plan. And whenever you get thrown in fear and maybe you're too fearful to act on your edge on the next position, you have my mindset balancing exercises or meditation like Ivan's talking about here to bring yourself back to a state of equilibrium so you can make a process-based decision. Or when you take a massive win and you get all elated, you have the tools there, the mindset balancing exercises, the meditation to bring yourself back to get back to your trading plan. So these are tools that ultimately allow you to adhere to your edge, but trading is multifaceted. There are multiple components that need to be taken care of. That's why initially I think developing a system, developing a trading plan, putting that in some sort of system is the first step. And then after that, you can start to learn to develop the self-awareness, manage your emotions, etc., so you can consistently execute on the edge that you have, which is ultimately what's going to lead to consistent profits.
Essentially, a consistent mindfulness practice will help you cultivate equanimity, composure, okay, which is a key element in being consistent in the market as a trader. But more broadly, mindfulness will help you develop a quality of acceptance of this process called life, of the natural evolution of things. And this acceptance, this peace in regards to things you cannot control, it's a game changer. It's bound to impact the way you trade positively, And so, once again, mindfulness, if practiced regularly, will reveal profound insights about your mind that will help you win the mental game of trading. And I hope I was able to, I hope I was successful in discussing its importance with you and reflecting back to you some things that may have been out of your perspective. If you want to delve deeper into the practice, you could choose to learn it with me, but you don't have to, of course. But it's just that I'm a long-time meditation practitioner, and the principles that I've learned as a meditation practitioner, student, and teacher have helped me shape how I view the markets and have helped me develop a winning trading psychology in trading. And I can help you develop that psychological edge as well. So check out my programs, link in the description below. And talk to you soon.
Great. So thank you, Ivan, for putting that video together. A lot of key insights there. Again, on the importance of meditation, why it's used, how it's successfully used as traders, And if you guys want to check out that initial meditation component that I put, that Ivan's put at the start of the video, I've put the link in the description below. So check it out, check out Ivan's channel. There's a lot of great value on there. And if you're interested in learning more about what I do, there's information below. We've got links in the description for our free Bulletproof Your Mindset tool. This is a tool that's helping thousands of traders all around the world overcome psychological challenges, make better decisions. I've got my signature program, which is the 12-week challenge. Each step you need to know to overcome the emotional volatilities in the market and get funded. I have my own trading experience, the last 6.5 years of trading experience, also working as a performance coach, and my studies in human behavior and psychology. And I put these things together to ensure traders get the proper psychological edge in the markets and ultimately lower emotional volatilities and make more money as traders.